So we have breakout players each and every year in the postseason, and this year is not going to be anything different. When it comes to those breakout players, I feel like Michael Porter, since Jamal Murray has gone down, that's kind of been unfortunately that's been the best thing that's happened to Michael Porter Jr. because he's kind of got to step in the co-star role, being the number two option after Nikola Jokic. And what he's been able to showcase since Jamal Murray has gone down has been very impressive. He's shown that he can be a true star or co-star in this league, and he's only going to get better as he keeps developing his game. And for the people that keep talking about, he's the next Kevin Durant, pump the brakes because him and Kevin Durant really don't play anything like each other because Kevin Durant can handle the ball. Kevin Durant can operate the second zone of the basketball court. Michael Porter Jr., even though his shot is unguardable, he has a high arch on his shot. Similar to Kevin Durant, you can't guard them because they're so tall. But other than that, that's the only thing that him and Kevin Durant really have in common. I would say that what Michael Porter Jr. reminds me of a taller version of Klay Thompson. This guy gets the ball out of his hands very quick. He has a smooth, silky jump shot, and he's just incredibly, incredibly gifted at just putting that ball in the hoop. He's a bucket getter. He's a three-point marksman, a three-point specialist, and his ability to get hot in a hurry and go from 5 points to 15 points in the span of 2 minutes is something impressive, something similar to Klay Thompson. So that's who he kind of reminds me of. So don't be surprised in this postseason when he's getting more touches because Jamal Murray's out. He has to kind of fill in that be that number two option after Nikola Jokic. Don't be surprised if you see him break out this upcoming postseason. Another guy that everybody knows who is phenomenal, who just is waiting to have a competent team around him that he finally got once Chris Paul came to his team. That's Devin Booker. Devin Booker's a half-court scorer, a lead at every angle on the basketball court when he talks about getting to his spots and getting buckets. Also, very smooth, can handle the ball, can put the ball on the floor, and also can pass the ball very well. And he's never in a hurry. He loves to operate on the half court, and that's what's going to allow him to succeed in the playoffs because everybody knows the game slows down, becomes a half-court game, and that is his specialty. So I expect Devin Booker to shine. I expect Devin Booker to have big games. Unfortunately, we don't know if the Phoenix Suns are going to be playing the Los Angeles Lakers or not, so I don't expect them to probably go, beyond the first round. But if they don't, he's still going to, even if they do, he's still going to have key moments to showcase his talent and ability and show that he's a legit star in this league. And the last guy I feel like is going to have a breakout postseason, even though a lot of people are going to feel like this is unlikely. That guy is Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is a guy that many feel that he hasn't reached his true potential, but I think going to the Golden State Warriors, become a two-way player, excellent two-way player, has really blossomed on the defensive side of the floor. But he's also, I really get upset when people think that he can't be a legit co-star in this league because he's kind of been a co-star for the Golden State Warriors since Klay Thompson's been out. And he's kind of played the role of shooting more efficiently. He's played the role of not really needing the ball in his hands 24/7 and taking the amount of crazy shots that he's been accustomed to having to take in his career. And I feel like this guy can do work in the postseason because the game slows down and he can create off the dribble very well, and he plays the isolation game very well. And he also can operate in boogie on the second level on the basketball court, which we all know in the playoffs, the mid-range is very vital. And the guys that can shoot it and do it well tend to thrive in the playoffs because we know teams are going to take away the three-point line. We know teams are not going to allow people to get to the rim. So you're going to have to operate on that second zone of the basketball court, and that's what Andrew Wiggins does. And he's extremely athletic as well, and he can blow by a defender and dunk over the top of him, and he can draw fouls. So this is a guy that's extremely talented. I feel that he can be a key component to potentially, go to say Warriors knocking off a number one seed or knocking off a number two seed, depending on how things take fold. But I think Andrew Wiggins is a guy that a lot of people, just because they feel like he was the number one overall pick, he's making a ton of money, and you tend to not think of your number one overall pick being a third option or being potentially a co-star. I think that Andrew Wiggins is still extremely talented. I think that Andrew Wiggins, with the Golden State Warriors, can take a lot of pressure off of Stephen Curry when it comes to the playoffs. But just like a Drew Holiday, just like a Chris Middleton, these are guys that are very excellent when it comes to the playoffs because their game operates on the half court. and they can thrive. And then that's when these guys become underrated and they really get to showcase their talent in the postseason. And people are like, wow, this guy is legit. This guy is really good. Like, don't sleep on this guy because he wasn't an all-star or he may not be your second option on the team. This guy is a bucket. This guy can really help this team win. Without this guy, this team is not going to win. And I think we're going to see that with Andrew Wiggins. So these are my three players that I feel that can have a breakout postseason. We got Michael Porter Jr., of course. We got Devin Booker, and my sleeper, which a lot of people are probably going to be shocked by, is Andrew Wiggins.